Hello and welcome to this analysis of DXY dollar index. My name is Vic. Thanks for joining me here. We're going to do a complete top-down analysis of dollar because in last couple of days or last 2 weeks or so, dollar has picked up more strength. So we want to see where it is going and what could be like the potential scenarios. So in this analysis, we are going to study a few scenarios which can help us in understanding what is probably coming in coming days, weeks, or maybe months, right? To in the market, and because everything is kind of like based on dollar indirectly or directly, so a study of dollar is actually very very important in the market. So even if you're not trading dollar, you should still watch and follow dollar. Okay, so what we have is actually 12-month time frame, which is yearly time frame, and what we can see is that market has created this sort of W pattern here. Now this W pattern has already been completed here, but the market has pushed up. Why? Because there are three variations of that W pattern. One it completes around here, other one is about to complete here, and the third one completes somewhere around here, which is around 127 or so. And we have been talking about this, like I posted this analysis near about 2.5 years ago. So the market has been following our analysis exactly from here all the way to this level, and it will probably continue to rise to that level unless we see some kind of reaction, some kind of retracement occurring from the completion of this extended W pattern. We'll see all of that. But if you see multiple scenarios here, which is something like this: if the dollar continues to find its strength, if this thing is broken, right, if this thing 120 is broken, then we are looking for near about 127 or so, right? However, you will notice that we have further W pattern, which can push the market 240 or so as well, and that can take years because we are looking at yearly time frame. So uh, people who are who want to invest in market for long term, they should be aware of this sort of scenario. But obviously there will be pullbacks and other things on monthly basis, weekly basis, because we are looking at yearly time frame. So this is what we have on yearly time frame. So far the candle has been very very strong and it has been able to break through this. Now when this structure is broken, something like this, usually market performs a retest, right? That retest can be very very important because sometimes if the retest fails, usually what happens is that market performs a retest and it comes down to near about the same level or so, and if it fails, then it can come down to even deeper level before it starts to rise. And in that scenario, you'll remember, I've been mentioning it for quite a while, that there are several gaps left along this, because this has been a parabolic move, and usually in parabolic moves the gaps are left, and this market does not leave any gaps open. So at some point in time in future, we do not know when, this market is going to come down to near about 90 level again. So it may probably come back to this level at some point in time. I'm not saying that this is going to happen tomorrow, yes, tomorrow or day after or next week or something. It can happen and it will happen at some point in time. So you should be aware that dollar is going to come back to 90 at some point in time. We do not know whether it is going to happen when it completes here on the W, or when it touches this 100%, or when it goes for an extended W somewhere around here and then starts to fall, because all of these scenarios are available here on monthly time frame. Now this thing, if you talk about this local, we know that if the market starts to react to that extended W pattern, there is a good chance that we can have a retracement. Okay, so remember we are approaching the third quarter, sorry, fourth, um so what am I saying? So we are reaching the fourth quarter of this year. So that means that the month end, that September end, is going to be very very important. Okay, so what we should do is jump from here to 6 months time frame, because that will also be important. You see that W pattern is very evident now, and if I go to the 3 months time frame, that is also very evident. Now what you will notice, that market has come into this area here. That is a kind of supply zone, and also a W pattern is available here, which means that market can actually start to fall down. However, it can still go deeper into this area. Approximately it can go up to 115 or 116 as well, deeper into this level, and then start to fall down. We could be looking at the mid of this channel here, right? If you pay attention to let me actually clear this up. So if you just draw this part here, you'll notice that mid is approximately here, right? So that is why I'm saying that the market could actually go in there little deeper, but after that we are expecting some kind of reaction here. Okay, anything can happen in the market, so it can actually break through this as well. But just by looking at the structure, we can expect this because we have that structure, supply zone, and then we have this W pattern, and there is another W pattern which is like this as well. So there are a couple of scenarios which actually say that the market can actually push down for a correction, and it can come down to near about 104 level or so, even like lower than that, right? So this is what we can see on the 3 months time frame. So that is why our September month is going to be very, very important, because that will set the tone for the next 3 months, the last quarter of this year. Now this is the same W pattern which you can see here, and the market could be heading into this supply zone, the deeper into supply zone. Now last week there was a gap left around 112, something around here. That gap has been filled. The market overstretched a little bit and then it filled that gap up. Okay. Now, what do we have? Overall, this has been the analysis, right? We have been following this analysis. Remember here, if you have been following my analysis, remember we have been bullish from here because we saw this consolidation and we knew that market was going to actually like create a double bottom and then start to rise up. So it reached our first target 110.27, and now last week, it nearly reached our target of 113.482. Right now, I think the high of this candle was approximately 113.228. So which is like few points lower than our target. So this is the FCP zone which can be reached. Okay, so from here or from 116, near about from here and here, the market can start to react. So what I'm expecting is that market can actually just touch it and start to go down, and that can happen next week. That is a possibility. Otherwise, what we'll have to see is actually how much time it spends in this FCP zone, because if it starts to show some kind of confirmation in and around this FCP zone for a bearish move, then we can expect a move down into this FCP zone, the previous one. So basically what I'm expecting is that if the market comes here, if you get a confirmation, the move down can be back into this FCP zone of 110, because it used to be resistance, now it will act as support. And if that is also broken, then we are looking for a move down into retest of this previous channel, the higher of the channel, right? Which is approximately here 103 or so, right? Approximately here. So this is what we can expect in coming days or months. Remember, we are still looking at monthly time frame. Now if I go to the daily weekly time frame, okay, actually let me show you another chart. So if I come here and remove this, and if I show you the weekly time frame, this is the intermediate analysis that I posted. So the market was like struggling with few trend lines. This is still bullish, right? This is very, very bullish at the moment. And if I draw another trend line like this, so the market broke through this and it reached the first target, which was 111, and then it broke through 112. As I said, like it wanted to go to that FCB zone. It is still there. But what you should do is just pay attention to the weekly candle. Now you will notice that this is the biggest candle, right? It has not, it is the biggest candle of all. So far from here, no candle has been of this size. When the market is about to exhaust, this is the candle, this is kind of the candle that it usually makes. Now I'm not saying that next week candle is going to be bearish, because sometimes it creates another bullish candle just to extend a little bit, like create a few traps and then start to fall down. But this candle is the biggest of all, which shows that market is probably like just trying to reach a level before it starts to go down, okay, or before it starts to consolidate. So you have to pay a lot of attention to dollar next week. If you go look at the daily candle here, this is also one of the biggest candles. You see, this is the only candle which was like of nearly this size, but this is very big. Now if I go to the weekly time frame again, if I show you, if I bring in any oscillator, like you just type relative strength index, what you will notice that the price, sorry, the price has been going up like this, and RSI has been pointing down, so it's a triple divergence, right? The market is going up, and there is a weekly divergence setting up. So all of these things are telling us, see, first of all, it is going into structure. There are two W patterns. When W patterns complete, the market go down. We have divergence setting up, right? The market has reached, is about to reach the FCP zone. Okay, then we have this weekly candle, which is like overextended kind of candle. So all of these things are telling us that the market could be due for a pullback. Now it remains to be seen whether we get a confirmation next week or next month or in the coming quarter or not, right? So this is my analysis. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with other traders and trading communities, because that's how we learn and earn together. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a great trading week next week.